Vanilla smells good. Did you know that? If you didn't know that, welcome to the video about vanilla. I should actually do something when I turn on the camera, shouldn't I? What do you think?
What do I think? I think you're lazy. I think you're untalented. I think you'll never reach 100,000 subscribers. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve anything good because I do all.
Today's all about vanilla. Now, I know that the idea of vanilla is probably not foreign to you, and chances are you've already smelled it in fragrances. Chances are, even before you smelled it in fragrances, you've eaten it in some form. Vanilla is everywhere. I don't really need to tell you too much about what it smells like, but it is technically a spice, and in fragrance it does come in many different varieties, some more natural than others, some downright not natural. And without getting too deep into it, we have some simple vanillas that you find all the time, especially in female marketed mainstream perfumery. And we have a little bit of that supplementing a lot of the fragrances, especially today in male marketed mainstream perfumery. But if that's all you've smelled, you haven't really been exposed to the gamut of what vanilla can truly be. I'll be honest and get my preferences out of the way. Some of my favorite vanilla fragrances are the ones that don't necessarily conjure the idea of something dessert-like. I like those too, but I love it when a perfumer or a brand can make the decision to make a vanilla-forward fragrance that does not smell like vanilla ice cream or vanilla frosting or anything that's making my mouth water right now as I'm saying it. So although a lot of you have already been exposed to vanilla, I have a range of fragrances here, 9 to be exact, that I still think you should try, because some of them you probably haven't tried, and they do happen to feature vanilla in some other ways, in a small diversity. So as we normally do, I have 9 fragrances I'm going to feature in 3 different categories of accessibility, starting those who are new, welcome. Intrigued, you're not new anymore. You've been getting to know a few things. You're still growing and developing your taste, and you're interested in more interesting things. And then we have Enthusiast. You're not new here. You've been here a while, maybe too long, but that's okay. I have too. And you are looking for new scent experiences. So let's dive right into it. First, we're gonna get some honorable mentions out of the way. These are the fragrances that either are ones you would expect to see in a video like this, ones that are talked about a lot in other videos, or ones I don't have. It's usually gonna be one of the 3. First one up here is a wonderful vanilla fragrance, but with other facets to it. But people know it as a vanilla fragrance from the house of Nishane, from one of my favorite perfumers, Cecile Zarokian. We'll see another one of her fragrances here on the actual list. This is called Ani. Again, nothing new here. If you happen to not have tried this yet, I recommend you change that as soon as you can. I'm gonna link down below to a place where you can get a sample. I'm not gonna talk about it much because, again, honorable mentions, not trying to take too much time. Another one that I don't actually have is Tobacco Vanille. I've been trying to get that fragrance for a couple years now, and I just seem to struggle to source a bottle. The closest I got was my wife buying a bottle for my birthday, only to realize that she bought it from Russia, and it was indeed a fake. Funny story for another time. Another one, also not completely based on vanilla, but the vanilla is completely forward here, and I think it separates it from the fragrance it was inspired by. Instant Crush from Mancera, inspired by Baccarat Rouge 540. I'm gonna save the description. Again, it's talked about all the time. I've talked about it a lot. Let's keep it moving. Our final honorable mention is from Initio. It's called Side Effect. Very simple fragrance. I get like tobacco, maybe some whiskey or some kind of booze with vanilla. But this one is well loved, well discussed. You don't need me to break it down for you for the 606th time. It's not my absolute favorite, but I understand why people enjoy it. Let's get into the list. First one up in our starting category, starting level. This is an easy fragrance to wrap your head around, wrap your nose around. That's why it's here in this level. From the house of Chanel, I don't recommend blind buying a bottle of this because I think it is a little overpriced for what you get. Not say it's bad, but prices are sky high when it comes to a designer fragrance. This is Allure Homme Edition Blanche. To put it simply, this is like lemon and vanilla. A little bit of musk. There's a creamy white feeling to the scent in addition to having a bright yellow lemony feel. Maybe a little bit of spice in there, but I don't get much else than that. Maybe some woods or something like that. Really, really great for the heat, great for the summertime. One of the things I like about this the most is that it actually has a personality. It has a distinctive identity. It's specific. I dig that. They're not just putting all the most popular things in one fragrance. So that is one. Uses vanilla, easy to wear. You've probably already tried it, but if you haven't, get yourself a sample of Allure Homme Edition Blanche. Up next, we have a niche fragrance that I think is super easy to understand and to wear and enjoy. This is coming from Xerjoff and it's called Uden. Now, similarly, this is also citrus based with vanilla. Lots of creamy, sweet vanilla, underscoring some bright citruses, underscoring some rum, some warm coffee, a little bit of sandalwood. This is also a nice, bright, uplifting fragrance for the heat, but I find it to be a little bit more elegant. Check out Uden from the House of Xerjoff. This is good stuff. And one more designer from Guerlain. I hesitated to put this at the starter level because I think it's quite unique and some guys might find it a little bit too off the beaten path. But I think overall, if you can wear it and not just dig your nose into it and make your final assessment, I think you're really gonna find something you like about it. I happen to like the vanilla qualities of this. This is L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum. I don't think it's all that easy to find these days, but I know it's still out there. Especially you can get decants. I will link to whatever I can find down below. This is sweet cherry, creamy vanilla, a little bit of bitter creamy almond in there and some leather. It smells very handsome while being intriguing, while being kind of delicious smelling. Definitely gonna smell nice to women who like sweeter fragrances. So guys, if you're going on a date, this might be one to consider. Don't be afraid of sweetness. This is L'Homme Ideal from Guerlain, the Eau de Parfum. Let's move into our intrigued level. You're tired of the basic stuff. Not to say we've been talking about basic stuff. The last three were not basic, but I think you know what I mean. You're ready to spend some money. Please don't be in a hurry to spend money. This is coming from BDK. They call this Rouge Smoking. Now, falling a little bit in line with the Guerlain I just talked about, cherry, vanilla, maybe even some almond. Actually, I just checked. It's not almond, it's heliotrope, which is a flower, a floral ingredient that can have almond and vanilla-like qualities to it. Now, ultimately, I don't know if the name totally fits. In my opinion, I don't get any kind of smoking qualities from this. I don't get anything really burnt smelling. It's actually quite creamy, smooth, like a cherry liqueur or cherry syrup with creamy vanilla, really filling it out, giving it its texture and its core. It smells great. Definitely might smell a little bit feminine to some guys. That's why it's here on the intrigued tier. We're gonna be sitting on the fence with some of these fragrances, so you might need a more developed nose to appreciate. But Rouge Smoking is definitely worth a sample. It's one of the best sellers from the house. A lot of people seem to love it. If you like cherry and vanilla together, this is one to check out. Up next is vanilla through and through, but done in a pretty unique way. This smells like salty skin on the beach, under the sun, with vanilla. It's like a salted vanilla. There's a solar feel, like warmed skin. There's a bit of a coconutty, like tropical sweet creaminess, and vanilla again is all over this thing. And it's in the name. This is Vanilla Vibes from Juliet Has a Gun. I reviewed this fragrance back when it came out years ago, and I still really enjoy it a lot. I find it to be very unique. I find it to be very easily identifiable. It has a particular personality to it. If I smelled this among hundreds of fragrances, I could pick it out easily. And I love that about it. It stands out with character. But everyone's not gonna love it because it is so specific. But if you like the idea of a beachy vanilla, one that you could wear in the summertime, it actually has some strength, check out Juliet Has a Gun Vanilla Vibes. Up next is one that a lot of guys will definitely consider a little bit too feminine for them to enjoy, but I happen to love it. My wife does wear it too, so I enjoy it on her too, so this is perfectly unisex. But if you can really appreciate that creamy, delectable vanilla, you're gonna like this, but it's mixed with some other things. This is called Spiritual from Micallef. This is vanilla. This is white florals, like jasmine. There's a creamy, soft, pillowy fluffiness that's still a little fresh and smooth to this fragrance. That's how I would describe it. It does smell white. However, once it's on the skin, once it's drying, that ambergris in the base really gives it its character, giving that vanilla a bit of a salty, musky, airy feel. that sets it apart from just being creamy, sweet vanilla jasmine, because we've seen that a lot. All in all, I don't think it's the most unique fragrance. It will smell maybe a little familiar in some ways, but the quality's fantastic, and it does have something special to it, again, with all the elements working together. But what is making it sweet and creamy is that vanilla. So you gotta like that. Anyway, that is Spiritual from Micallef. Finally, let's move into our Enthusiast here. Again, you've been here. You want something new. You want something interesting, boundary pushing, mind blasting. Try! I need to just do my job here. Amouage Material. This is perfumed by Cecile Zarokian, as I alluded to earlier, and this is an example of one of those vanilla fragrances that doesn't smell edible. This is a very natural Madagascar vanilla, some of the highest quality vanilla you can get, but done in an ambery way. The amber accord is typically made of vanilla, benzoin, and labdanum. And you have all of those elements in here. Vanilla being the most forward, very natural smelling, a little bit on the darker side, more on the ambery resinous side. And also contributing to the darkness is some incense and oud and patchouli in the base. Kind of a dark, slightly smoky, woody feel to this otherwise pretty rich, sweet, resinous vanilla that again does not smell like something you want to put on a plate and put into your mouth with a fork. Lovely stuff, worth sampling. Don't be fooled by the bottle design. It is perfectly unisex. That is Amouage Material. Coming from the house of Raja Parfum. Not everyone's gonna love it. I wouldn't say because of the scent, but mainly because of its performance. This thing is not super strong, but it's okay. If you're asking me, this is Manhattan Eau de Parfum. So this is a follow-up and basically replacement to the original Manhattan Parfum. And this is tobacco and vanilla. The tobacco's adding a bit of this smoky earthiness to it, but more of a sweeter, like pipe tobacco feel. I get a boozy quality out of here. I don't know if there is booze, but I get something reminiscent of like a whiskey. It's overall pretty soft. It comes off like it has some florals to it that really round it out. And overall, not very strong. Like I said, it will radiate in the air a little bit. It will sit on your skin, you know, maybe 7-8 hours, but it will sit close quite quickly. So if you're looking for an absolute monster of a fragrance, you're not going to find it here. And I think I would find this particular scent profile obnoxious if it was too strong. So I think it retains its elegance and nuance by not being the strongest thing ever. So if you're looking for a fragrance to not get everyone's attention, which isn't always a good thing, do check out Manhattan from Raja Parfum. Get a sample first though, don't blind buy it. And our final fragrance. I wouldn't say this is the most advanced level scent, but it is incredible quality. It does have a bit of a darkness to it that maybe not everyone will appreciate, but I do find it to be quite easy to wear. Problem is, it's not always easy to find. So if you can get your hands on it, try it. Vanilla oud, yes, it deserves to be here. This stuff blew me away, and I was not expecting it to. A little bit of apple when you spray it on, giving this kind of fruity crispness to the vanilla, which is up there right front and center. A bit of a resinous, ambery vanilla, similar to what we saw in Material, mixed with a bit of an incensey quality. That incense adds this kind of cooling, smoky grain to the scent. It envelops that vanilla, and it actually makes it behave in a way in the air that it perhaps would not do without the incense. Kind of wispy, it makes it move slowly. You don't get the whole scent all at once. It gives a bit of a mysterious, kind of sensual feeling to it, but the vanilla is still at the heart here, giving it that sweetness, giving it that richness. And the oud is definitely here, adding a bit of a smoky, dark quality, a little bit medicinal on the woody side, but not overly so. Very elegant, very high quality, beautiful, I think pretty intoxicating when you smell it in the air. If you can get your hands on a sample of Vanilla Oud from Vertus, I cannot recommend it highly enough. Check it out. All right, that's gonna be it. That's vanilla. We could have taken this video in a number of directions with many more fragrances, but we only have so much time, and this is what it was. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I want you to let me know down in the comments if you've tried and enjoy any of these fragrances. Let's talk about it. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.